Hi everybody, welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Terry Stiles with my co-host Jim Hughes.
Hey, welcome back.
Taking over for me last week, thank you.
I did.
In this week's news, the search is over and the Oxford Board of Trustees and Village Council consider costs and some serious sports action. All that and more, the Oxford News begins right now. Welcome Tanny Milligan to the Oxford Community Schools. Dr. Milligan is a new superintendent of schools, unanimously voted on 7-0 by the entire school board last week. Milligan is currently the Executive Director of K-12 Teaching and Learning at Columbus City Schools in Columbus, Ohio. Her current district has 46,000 students, over 9,000 staff, and looks like 113 schools. Currently, Oxford has nearly 6,000 students and nearly 900 staffers. Milligan was chosen over Cormac Lynn of the Catholic Diocese of Saginaw. Following the vote, Board President Dr. Erin Reese said that she would begin the negotiation process with district attorneys and Milligan, who is set to take over for the current superintendent, Vicki Markovich, on July 1st. Congratulations. We're excited that that search is finally over. Jim?
Yeah, congratulations. The Oxford Township Board of Trustees recently approved an official ballot language for 3 proposals that the township residents can now vote on during the upcoming general and primary elections. During the meeting on the 10th of April, the board voted almost unanimously agreed on the language for the proposed fire protection and EMS services millage, the police operating millage, and the safety path millage and the police operating millage. Is all one but 3 that will appear on the August 6th primary election ballot rather than the November 5th general election ballot. As millages, the proposal outlines how much property owners will owe in taxes to support public safety, public works, and projects. The fire protection and police operating millages are proposed to increase on the upcoming ballots from previous election years based on the growth of the 2 departments. The safety path millage is new this year to support constructing and maintaining a network of paths to provide recreational opportunities, safe routes to schools, parks, and neighborhoods. The Township Board next meets on May 8th. Terry?
The Village of Oxford Council was considering last week's sewer and water rate increases. The discussion, however, has been postponed until the next budget workshop. According to Village Manager Joe Medor, the proposed increases resulted from many county-wide system repairs and maintenance projects and repair costs of the Oxford sewer lines. Money gained from the increase would help replenish funds from some of the village's prepaid bonds. Medor said the prepayments have saved tens of thousands of dollars in interest. He also told Council that the estimated increase would be around 6.25% on sewer rates alone each year for the next 5 years. According to Council member Maureen Helmuth, smaller increases now are better than huge ones later. She also said the rate increase every year rather than all at once makes a huge difference. Good luck with that decision. Jim?
We'd like to welcome new Reserve Officer Shane Bernay to the Oxford Police Department. Bernay graduated from Oakland Reserve Police Academy on Saturday, April 13th. He is ready to get started. He decided to become a reserve officer for Oxford to help serve his current community. He is married. He has 2 children, both graduates of the Oxford High School system. He has owned his own business, Walls and All Painting, for 22 years now. The company specializes interior and exterior residential and commercial painting, power washing, and deck refinishing. Bernie also excited to be the very best he can be for the Oxford Police Department. Congratulations to him in his new endeavors. Terry.
Got waste? No Has is here to help. The No-Haz Consortium is a group of Oakland County communities coming together to provide residents with a safe, reliable, and environmentally responsible way to dispose of household hazardous waste. Every year, No-Haz schedules collection events to give residents disposal opportunities. They are completely free for residents of Oxford Township and the Village of Oxford. This year, events will take place from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on April 27th, June 1st, July 20th, and September 14th. The first event is at the Oakland County Service Center campus in Pontiac, and the second is at the Oxford Middle School. Acceptable materials include batteries, computers, electronics, and cleaners. Participants must pre-register on the Oakland County website at oakgov.com. Jim?
Always a valuable thing to get rid of some of
Sure
that junk
is.
in the house.
Yeah.
Hey, watch out for road work. There's no getting around it. It's the orange barrel season, according to the Detroit Free Press. Michigan road crews are starting and restarting numerous road projects this month. Many of them could cause you a major delay in your commute. At least some motorists can learn about the detours before you go. Click on Detroit reporting that more than 50 road and bridge construction projects are slated to take place in Oakland County alone this year. And together they are projected to cost upward of $80 million. The big project that you'll want to know about, the Square Lake Road project in Bloomfield Township, has generated warnings from not only the township, state transportation engineers, the city of Pontiac itself. That would affect your commute. That's a big main thoroughway. The Michigan Department of Transportation is rebuilding Square Lake Road between Woodward Avenue and I-75. That got underway last week. Westbound Square Lake is closed at Updike Road, and in June, this is a big closure. Westbound Square Lake Road will be closed the entire route between 75 and Woodward through midsummer. They're going to have to get that done before that big cruise that they have in August. To take the detour, go further north to westbound M59, head west to the Woodward Loop in the downtown Pontiac area. Once again, you might want to check before you go. Don't waste that valuable time on the roadway. Terry.
We'll have to find some back roads. So lace up your running shoes to support Levi's Link, a program established to improve the hospital experience for patients with special needs. On May 19th, Phil Sand Company Koenig Gravel Materials will host the 7th annual Levi's Link Run at the Oxford Gravel Pit. The family-friendly event includes a 10K run, a 5K run and walk, and a 1-mile fun run walk, or any of the above. Those would be virtual runs as well. All of the sites have changed, so runners will travel through new areas on the course and experience new sights. Exploring a working gravel pit provides a unique and more challenging experience than traditional street runs. Proceeds from the run go toward the program to help those who may experience stress during hospital stays. For more information about the run or the Levi's Link program, visit levislinkrun.com. Jim?
And in our Behind the Lens segment this week, you can fly, you can fly, you can fly. Fourth graders from the Clear Lake Elementary and Oxford High School area Mechatronics students took a field trip to the iFly in Novi to learn more about careers in the field of STEM. The students learned about how the iFly engineers build their wind tunnel, watched experiments were conducted. Each student had the opportunity to fly in a wind tunnel, a sensation much like skydiving. At the end of the trip, many of the students wanted to become iFly engineers themselves. Once again, congratulations there on the iFly story. Coming up, my own friend Terry Stiles will have a story. It's our last story, which we come to know and enjoy. Smash windows save lives. Up next, you know him, you love him. It's Dave Kenny with Auto Talk and Science in the News. You're watching Oxford News This Week.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News. In our first story, Mercedes-Benz will expand its C-Class lineup in the U.S. with a performance plug-in hybrid variant. The 2024 Mercedes-AMG C63 SE Performance arrives in the spring and starts at $85,050, including shipping. Mercedes delivered 3,298 C-Class sedans in the U.S. last year, up 25% from the prior year. The AMG 2-liter 4-cylinder engine paired with a 2-speed electric motor on the rear axle delivers a combined 671 horsepower and a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of 3.3 seconds. The hand-built AMG M139i engine features an electric exhaust gas turbocharger technology derived directly from a Formula One, powered by a 400-volt electrical system to provide immediate response across the revolutions per minute range, Mercedes says. A 6.1 kilowatt-hour battery delivers a peak output of 201 horsepower for 10 seconds and features a direct cooling system. The AMG C63's SE Performance is based on a modified AMG body cell. The PHEV's front end is 2 inches longer and the wheelbase is 0.4 inches longer than the standard C-Class sedan. A distinguishing feature of the AMC variant is the narrow air outlet in the center of the hood that transitions into a pair of power domes. Inside, the AMG C63E Performance features AMG sports seats and Mercedes MBUX infotainment system. And on the recall front, Toyota Motor Corporation says it will recall certain 2023 and 2024 Prius and Prius Prime sedans to replace the rear door opener switches, which the automaker says may encounter water intrusion and short circuit. The recall involves about 211,000 vehicles globally and about 55,000 in the U.S., the automaker said on April 17th. Toyota said that if the doors are not locked and the electronic rear door latches encounter water and short circuit, they could potentially open while the vehicle is moving or is involved in a crash. Affected customers will be notified by mail in early June, Toyota said. To repair the vehicle, dealers will replace both rear door opener switches with improved ones. And still on the recall front, Ford Motor Company is recalling more than 456,000 Bronco Sport and Maverick vehicles because of a battery calibration issue that might result in a loss of drive power. The recall covers 2021 to 2024 Bronco Sports and 2022 to 2023 Ford Mavericks. Unexpected battery loss might go undetected in these vehicles, which could lead to a car being unable to restart or stall when coming to a stop at low speed, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said on April 17th. To fix the issue, dealers will recalibrate the body control module and power control module. A Ford spokesman said the company was not aware of any injuries or accidents as of February 8th. Owner notification letters are expected to be mailed starting May 13th. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
Welcome back to Oxford News This Week. Oxford sports, spring sports off to a full gear. Oxford track and field team took home second place at the 10th annual Shake It Off Rust Invitational at Davison High School. That took place on the 13th of April. The team fell only to Davis in the large school division with the Wildcats score of 267, only 9 points off the Cardinals. The Oxford girls had two first place finishers in the individual categories. Brady Elling took home first place in the 3,200 meter run with a time of 11 minutes and 39 seconds. Cara Dwyer in the 300 meter hurdles with a time of 49 seconds. The Oxford boys had three first place finishers. James Kuzik won at 1,600 meter run with a time of 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Jacob Chenard in the 110 meter hurdles with a time of 16 seconds. He had, again, with the first place finish in the long jump as well. The Invitational was the first at the OAA Red Meet of the season. Now some short sports bites. That comes from our writer Allison. She always puts them in there. April 16th was a big day for Oxford athletics with 6 wins, 6 losses. JV was the most successful out of the Oxford 3 baseball teams. The boys defeated Rochester Adams at home through a walk-off victory, 9-8, to improve to 6-1 on the season. As for the tennis, girls varsity tennis swept Avondale on the road to 8-0. Their record improves to 3-1, and the girls varsity lacrosse beat rival Clarkston on the road 12-9. The team is now 3-3. That wraps it up with our sports. Dave Kenny's got another segment. We'll be back. Terry Stiles picks it up at the very end of this newscast with that segment we love called The Last Story. You're watching Oxford News This Week on Oxford Community Television.
When a crisis hits, close to home and across the globe, nonprofits are on the front lines, ready to serve.
Keep coming.
The demand for charitable services has skyrocketed, and nonprofits are rising to meet the needs. Healing, nurturing, rescuing, honoring, protecting, caring, inspiring. The work of philanthropic organizations of all sizes, across all missions, has never been more important. And it's donors and volunteers like you who make all this possible. Thank you. Together, we change the world. The Nonprofit Alliance.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. For anyone who remembers the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, the news of a bird flu virus infecting dairy cows across the U.S. and a person exposed to the animals may raise the hairs on the back of their neck. But experts say we shouldn't worry about a full-blown pandemic yet. Right now, the bigger concern is not having enough information to anticipate how the virus may act next. At this point in time, I would not think a pandemic is likely, says Jody Guest at the Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. The risk to humans is quite low. It's not nothing, but it is very, very low. Since 2021, a subtype of the bird flu virus, H5N1, has decimated global bird populations. It has also infected an increasing number of mammals, including foxes, seals, mink, and most recently, cows. In late March, dairy cows across Texas, Kansas, Michigan, New Mexico, and Idaho tested positive for the virus. A person also contracted it after interacting with animals, the first known instance of H5N1 transmitting between a human and another mammal. The individual's only symptom is eye redness, and they are recovering according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC. But bird flu can be deadly in humans. About half of the roughly 880 people confirmed to have H5N1 since 2003 have died of the disease. Any case of H5N1 is concerning because it's highly dangerous to humans, says Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus as the World Health Organization, or WHO, in a briefing on April 3rd. The good news is the virus hasn't been transmitted between people. Plus, initial testing of samples from the infected person and cows don't show mutations that would significantly increase that risk, according to the CDC. What we do know is that this particular virus is still very much a bird virus, says Richard Webby at the St. Jude Children's Hospital in Tennessee. Yet, he says each time the virus infects or transmits between mammals, it could acquire mutations that may make it more dangerous to humans. That is why the WHO says it's working closely with the CDC to track the virus. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has also stepped up surveillance efforts. I think it's hard to put the outbreak into full context right now. More information is needed, says Megan Davis at Johns Hopkins University in Maryland. One unknown is whether the virus is spreading between cows. Evidence suggests that that is the case, says Fred Gingrich at the American Association of Bovine Practitioners, or the AABP, in Ohio. For instance, cows in Michigan became ill after those from a herd in Texas were introduced to the farm. Probably our biggest question is how it's transmitted between cows, says Gingrich. If you don't know how disease is spreading, it's hard to prevent. Additional genetic sequencing is needed to better understand the disease's spread as well. Those efforts, which involve comparing samples from cows to those from wild birds, are underway, but will take time, says Davis. In the interim, the AABP is advising dairy farmers to provide workers with masks, gloves, and other protective equipment to prevent the virus's spread. People should also avoid raw milk and raw milk products, which can transmit the disease. Otherwise, the general public's risk of bird flu is low, says Guest. The CDC says current antiviral medications also work against the disease, and there are 2 vaccine candidates already in development. These would be effective against the current strain and are available for manufacturing, says the CDC. Those in positions of response should be on high alert and should be doing as much active surveillance as possible, which they are, says Davis. But if you're an average consumer and you're drinking pasteurized milk, don't panic. Be aware, but don't panic. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
Military families often sacrifice precious time away from loved ones while serving our country. And for those with children, the separation can be especially difficult.
We were worried that with him leaving, that she would lose those connections with her dad.
Some of life's best moments happen between parents, children, and the pages of a good book. United Through Reading provides that connection.
You can watch your mom or dad read a book to you, and it almost feels like they're really there.
We ensure they remain a consistent, meaningful part of their children's lives, no matter the distance.
Just seeing Jacob recognize Daddy again after a long time just melted my heart.
And now, as we're facing greater isolation from our loved ones, United Through Reading is also available to veterans. Learn more about United Through Reading and download our free secure app at unitedthroughreading.org.
And in our last story this week, Smash Windows saves lives. Oxford High School seniors enrolled in the Oxford Fire Department EMT class recently spent a rainy day training. The students used different extrication tools to cut, smash, spread, and remove pieces of 2 vehicles headed for the scrapyard. The hands-on learning experience at the fire station Fire Station 1 taught the students how to safely create space to access and remove people trapped and injured in vehicles. What a way to study. That's a great way for them to spend the day. Good for them.
Very cool. I noticed you're wearing a wearable. Now, what's that all about?
Outfit. So I need to brag. A 1998 graduate, Oxford graduate, Erica Baker, ran the Boston Marathon this past weekend.
Cool.
We happen to be volunteers. My 2 sisters, my brother-in-law, which are Erica's parents, We're volunteers with the Peace Corps group.
Okay,
We
okay.
volunteer and hand out water. We're at the hydration station, and this is the jacket.
That's
Every year we
nice.
get a new jacket
Very
to
nice.
identify as us as volunteers. But it was a special time this year because, and I try to say this without crying, Erica ran the marathon and she made it all the way
Now,
through.
was this Erica? You said
Really
this
fun.
is Erica's first time doing the marathon?
It's the first time doing the Boston. You have to run other marathons
Oh.
to qualify for the Boston.
Right.
And then you have to be sponsored by your work.
Oh, I
and
gotcha.
she actually is head of advertising for the Massachusetts transit system.
Oh, wow.
So she's doing really well out there.
I know,
And-
just knowing Terry alone, that this Boston Marathon, I mean, it's something you do regularly. You're very
Every year.
passionate about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you drive up there, and it's very
Yep.
good stuff. So,
It's a
say more. You were-
13-hour drive out there. But also, and a lot of you might remember her, Marge Mahaffey, who was a teacher at DA.
Okay.
We met up with her out there. She and her husband live out there. Her two daughters are friends with Erica, who
Right.
lives in Boston. So it was really a fun trip. It's 13 hours out there, 13 hours home. It's a really quick trip, but it's fabulous. So we start crying as soon as the Kenyans run by us.
Yes.
And I have had 2 Kenyans now
Snap
grab
a
some water
picture.
from me. One did stop and snapped a picture with me. I don't know if I'll ever see that picture.
Probably not, but maybe you will.
It's just incredible to watch the stamina of these people. And then there's some people, so the race starts quite early. The Kenyans came through, I think, about 10:30 or 11 o'clock. And then at 4:30, 5:30, people are still coming through.
Oh, they are.
And,
And you're there the whole time, huh?
We're yes, and we're at the very last hill. We're at the 23.1 mile mark.
Okay.
And so those people still have 3 more miles to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't say you're almost there, but it's just an incredible event. It was hordes. We're at the bottom of a hill and the beginning of another hill, and all you saw were hordes of people all day long.
Nice.
It just never stops. I think there were 30,000 people that ran this year.
And now, how many? I mean, would you know the spectators? I mean, probably 100,000, maybe more than
At
that.
least it's national.
Yeah.
It's a huge event in Boston.
Right.
They shut every single street down. In fact, both of my sons flew out there to watch as well.
Oh,
and
okay.
one had to get to the airport by 5:30 or 6 o'clock. He missed his flight. He couldn't,
God, there are too
you
many
can't get
people
out of
coming.
Boston once you're in. But
That's pretty
What
cool.
a fabulous city. Yeah.
What we
it's
should
just-
do is we should have Terry. Now, how many jackets do you have? How many years?
This is my fourth year, and they don't let us take, I would show you guys videos and pictures, but they will not let us. Although I did get to take pictures of the ESPN cameras, a whole truck full
Oh,
of
nice.
cameras and sports reporters go through first.
Now, imagine if you watch the videotape, you might see you standing there handing out water.
Oh, heck yeah, probably so. In fact, all the way home, so we came home through Canada, and every time we stopped to get gas or something, there was a runner. And they said, oh, I'm sure we saw you. Well, it was really neat. It's just an unbelievable.
Now, we're going to have you bring in the first year's jacket next week. Every week, we're going to end up with a jacket for the last 4
They're
years.
all different colors. Ironically, the years that I've gone, the colors have been the same except for this year. This is my...
I think it's a
This is
sharp-looking
different. It's a sharp
jacket, and it
jacket,
represents a lot. I know you're very emotional about it.
Uh-huh.
I'm not even going to ask you about books on tape this week. We'll.
We listened to a lot of them,
Okay.
13-hour drive, so there was a lot of
She
books.
got through like
but-
a whole library.
Thanks for listening to my Boston story. The marathon, if anybody ever has an opportunity to go, it's just the energy there. It truly is a holiday for them.
That's
It's just
as it
incredible.
should be, as it should
Yep.
be. OCTV can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191, Channel 99 on the AT&T UVerse system. I'm going to need your help here, Terry. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, and Roku, and where else?
Fire stick.
She remembers, I
Yep.
don't. If you have a show idea and would like to volunteer at OCTV, give our office a call, 248-628-9658. Special thank you to our director, producer, stage manager, he does everything, Kyle
Editor.
Stage. Our news writer extraordinaire who works late in the evening, sends the news and studies, Allison Miller. Also for our station manager here, Terry Stiles. Everyone here at OCTV, I'm Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe week. I invite you back next time when again, both Terry and I will take a look at Oxford News This Week. Have a good week, everyone.
Bye-bye.